Quartet.
Okay. Another. Yep.
What was one of your favorite voices to do?
Well, I was just talking to somebody outside, and I was telling them that one of my favorites to do is Mojo, because I can completely forget that's me and just enjoy the show. So I'll just be watching the show and laughing along. Oh yeah, that's me. And then other shows I'll just be going, oh God, why did I do that? So he was one of my favorites.
And it still is. Be sure to watch the new Powerpuff Girls coming in April. Mojo is back and badder than ever. But he doesn't pop the microphone like this. But bang, beep, pop, beep, pop, bing, bang, bong. I even have a little puppy. On some of the shows, not all of them. Don't get sentimental.
Any others? Oh yeah.
Who exactly did you play in Mass Effect?
In Mass Effect? In Mass Effect, I was Engineer Adams, and then, what's his name? Harkin? One of the early ones. And then the later ones, I'm Paddock Wicks.
And Erdnot Reeve. Is that good enough for you, human? I don't understand these monkeys.
Me neither.
That's not something you're supposed to answer.
Hi, Josh. No.
Oh yeah, I actually want to ask, just with reference to those things, do you often play the video games, just video games that you do voice over, or just in general, do you also do gaming?
I never play video games because I'm so bad at them. It's no fun to play when you're bad.
Not even the simple ones?
Pardon?
Not even the simple ones?
Hey, Tetris is too much for me.
It's hard to be bad at things that are story-based when you're your choice.
I just like the acting, that's the fun for me. The storytelling. I like that Harrison Ford, who has the same birthday as me, describes himself as an assistant storyteller. Good description. It takes a village to make a movie. Hi. What's your name?
David.
Hi, David.
First of all, thank you so much for bringing us so much joy in our house. I really appreciate it. And then, what was your first voice acting you did?
Wow. I don't know if this was actually the first job I had, but the first one I remember, because it was so much fun, was King's Quest VII. I played some ghoul kids and a 7-headed man-eating plant.
3-headed.
3-headed?
Yeah.
Wow.
Sorry.
It seemed like there was that. But as the man-eating plant, I had to sing with myself, which was a lot of fun. Harmonize with myself. And I played a king or something. It was a lot of fun.
That was a long time ago. We used to call turkeys Liberty Chickens. Oh my gosh, I'm slipping into Simpsons. Oh God.
Yeah, it goes all the way back to Monkey Island, 1990.
Oh, was that one of the first ones?
Yeah, that's the first one on IMDb.
Oh.
That's funny. Okay. Any other questions for us? Yeah.
So, judging from Mojo Jojo's voice, would he be Japanese?
What about the Japanese?
Oh.
Judging from Mojo Jojo's voice, would he be Japanese?
Well, who knows? Maybe. Maybe not. Why, what does it matter to you? Do you have some kind of vested interest in whether or not he is Japanese or not? What is your name? What?
Trey.
Trey, hello, Trey. I don't know if Mojo is Japanese or not. His name in his wee little baby years was Jojo.
When Mojo started out, the description of him was like a Peter Lorre voice. How many of you know who Peter Lorre was? Have you ever seen Casablanca? Anybody? Or The Maltese Falcon?
Or if you know Grand Hawk is a sort of parody of Peter Lorre's voice.
So Mojo, the description of Mojo was that he sounded sort of like Peter Lorre, an odd, evil Peter Lorre. So I did something like that, and then I got the call back, which is the second stage of audition. When you go into the studio with the director, and you work with them live instead of just sending in a recording, so they can get a feel of what it's like to work with you and see how you take direction and so forth. And while we were in the studio, he said, okay, what if he had a samurai element to him? Now, this is Craig McCracken, who's, if you haven't seen his brilliant new show, Wander Over Yonder, do yourself a favor. It is so good. Wander Over Yonder. So what if Mojo had a samurai element? And I thought, Peter Lorre, samurai. Peter Lorre,
Toshiro no Funi. What? You mean maybe somebody like this?
and he went,
And that is how Mojo turned into this. But that doesn't mean that he's Japanese or not. Why? What does it matter?
Alright. Any other? Yeah?
This movie called I Know That Voice.
yeah, John DiMaggio.
John DiMaggio talked about the case you guys were become a common in life, which is a pencil, try to stop you from common in life reality, certain things that you do, why you emphasize actually to make the voice or
Well, usually they'll have something like a popper stopper across the mic, which they make these professional things, you know, on a frame that you can clamp onto it. Those of us who at one point didn't have so much money would take a coat hanger and put pantyhose over it and tape that to it, and that'll work. Another simple thing is just don't talk directly into the mic. It's easy. Speak across the mic. And you can kind of swallow the peas a little bit. Instead of popping peas like that, you pop the pea like that. Swallow the pop. There won't be many people here who remember that. We're old.
Question over there.
Were there any voices that were physically hard on you to do over time?
Hi, what's your name?
Don?
Non? John?
Don with a D.
Don.
It's very ear on out.
Well, probably the hardest session I ever had was doing Lord of the Rings. The first games that came out, and I was doing a lot of orcs and wargs, so you'd be going, or a lot, like 4 hours. And or as humans, you're going,
Kill them!
or whatever. At a certain point, I found myself about to faint because I realized the pressure was building up and it's putting too much pressure in my head, and I had to say, no, we need to take an extended break here. So that was probably the hardest session I ever had. So don't do it. Be careful. care, Cheryl. Hello. What's your name?
Hi, my name's Lyden.
Hello, Lyden.
Hello.
Like Johnny Lyden.
Yes, exactly. So I was wondering, did you have any inspiration to do, or no? Did you have an inspiration, like a person that inspired you to do voiceover work?
Oh, so many. I mean, really, so many, as I said, I imitated all my favorite cartoon characters growing up, and then I began to read the credits, and I saw voice characterizations by Mel Blanc. And then I began to discover that Mel didn't do all the voices in that cartoon. He was just the first person who ever got credit because it was part of his contract. But there were other brilliant people like Dawes Butler who did voices like Huckleberry Hound, Elroy Jetson, Hokey Wolf, Yogi Bear. I mean, so many, a whole pantheon of characters. June Foray, who was Rocket J. Squirrel, and Hazel Witch in the Warner's cartoons, and did a lot of stuff with Stan Freberg and Dawes Butler. Stan Freberg and Dawes Butler created Beanie and Cecil with the original puppet show, and then carried it on with Bob Clampett, the creator, who
Uh-oh, you started a history lesson.
I'll get my notes.
Everybody wake up.
one of my favorite people was Peter Sellers. Just brilliant actor. I mean, you only have to see Dr. Strangelove to see what kind of amazing actor he was. I mean, just the range of the characters he does there, or Lolita, or well, those are a few. Of course, Mel Blanc, of course, was just a genius. I mean, I can't remember the title of it, but you want to talk about genius. You know, of course, that Mel did Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck and Porky Pig and Sylvester. Sylvester was basically Daffy, not speeded up slightly, but he ate it. There's a Bugs and Daffy cartoon where Bugs is dressed up as Daffy and Daffy is dressed up as Bugs. So he does Bugs Bunny doing an imitation of Daffy Duck, and Daffy Duck doing an imitation of Bugs Bunny. That is enough to just explode your brain if you're a voice acting fan. And I can't remember the title of it, but I'm sure you'll find it on YouTube if you look around.
Do you ever just like look at toys or inanimate objects and just give them a voice?
Yeah, that's a good common exercise. When you're studying voiceover, especially in animation, you think of you look at something and you
Pardon me, I'm a little sloshy today. Oh, goodbye.
So yeah, that's the kind of stuff you practice, not puppet. If you want to do characters.
Let's talk to you.
Turning insanity into a job choice.
Stop that, Jane! Stop that, Grant! Stop that, Josh! You'll never make a living doing these strange voices.
You need to have a job to fall back on. Have you ever thought about chartered accountancy?
There's always work at the post office.
If you were ever able to pick any character you get the voice actor, which character would you pick?
I wouldn't be too proud of this technological terror you constructed. The power to destroy a planet is insignificant compared to the power of the Force. You are a part of the Rebel Alliance and a traitor! Captain, take her away! Does that answer your question? Pray I don't go to it further.
If you don't know that, get out now. Alright, any others? Yeah, go ahead.
All right. Any funny stories while voice acting? Anything?
Funny stories about voice acting.
Hey, be funny for us! Hey!
Boy, now I'm on the spot.
Or say something funny. I don't know. Just like say something funny.
Hey, say something funny. Be funny for it. Hey, come on. Of course, the moment somebody asks that, anything that goes away. The only thing that comes to mind has nothing to do with voice acting at all. It's how I met Jamie Kennedy on screen. Because they used to keep us. They would keep me separated from the rest of the cast on screen because they didn't want anyone to have a visual association with what I looked like. So that they would just react to the voice when I was on the phone. You know what I mean? It's like an old time radio. You know, the most horrible monster in the world is the monster you create with your own imagination. So they kept me separated so nobody knew what I looked like. But when we were filming number 2 in Atlanta, my hometown, late one night I went down to the snack machines, which is where the laundry was, to get a snack. It makes sense, doesn't it? I went to the snack machines, and there's Jamie Kennedy inside a washer. And he goes, "You know how to use fabric softener?" No. Oh, okay. Dang. And that's how I met Jamie Kennedy. And the next day we did the scene with it was with him. I did the, have you ever felt a knife cut through? Please, there are children present.
Thank you.
What was it like working with the people who did the pop-up girls, like Tara Strong and people like that? What was it like working with them?
Pure magic, pure heaven. So I've formed some very good friendships with some of these folks. Still going on today. Tom Kane is one of my best friends. Professor Newtonian. And Tom Kenny, great guy. Just everybody from the show, Tara, E.G., Kathy, Jim Cummings. I used to work with Jim Cummings on Book of Pooh.
It's not what you think, it's Winnie the Pooh, Winnie the Pooh. But I was Mr. Narrator. I don't know if you ever saw that show. One with the Winnie the Pooh puppets.
And it's great. I'm so glad they brought the show back. It's fun still to do.
New writing, new fun, bigger fun! This is America. Bigger is better. We have bigger fun.
I'm sorry, what was your name?
Jaden.
Jaden?
Yes.
Thanks, Jaden. Thanks for the question.